Welcome back to the Clutch Knockout. Now, what we're going to be talking about is the Houston Rockets and John Wall. Both are preparing for a trade. John Wall, he's seeing the young talent coming up in Houston: Christian Wood, Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, other young pieces that they have. He's looking around, and the Rockets wanted him to take some type of bench role, and both John Wall and the Rockets, after, discussing with each other, John Wall was like, no, I don't want that. So they discussed with each other, and they decided that a trade is best. John Wall doesn't plan to suit up for any preseason games, any Houston Rockets games, so he's pretty much traded. We just don't know where to yet. So John Wall has a huge contract, over 100 mil, something like that, like 40 million a year, something like that. And that's just a horrible contract. Nobody wants that, especially coming off an Achilles injury. I think he was injured for 2 years or more. John Wall just came back last year. He had a good year, nothing phenomenal. It wasn't no Russell Westbrook type comeback, but he had a good comeback. He might even be better this year, a lot more confident. But John Wall still can't shoot. So that's one issue for a point guard that's major, and he has a huge contract. So only a limited amount of teams are going to be able to pick him up. Now, out of the teams that are in the NBA, there's only slim pickings for some of them. The Clippers will be a great destination for John Wall. They don't have a point guard necessarily. They have Reggie Jackson, but he's more of a scorer. He's not a facilitator like that. I think John Wall would be great on the Clippers. He could take over the role Rondo was supposed to take. He would still be good on defense. You have Paul George, you have Kawhi. Kawhi, I think, is injured for the year, so they could need somebody to tag team with Paul George. And both of those superstars can shoot very well. So a pairing with John Wall, a point guard that can't shoot, would make the most sense rather than sending him to another team with more non-shooters. If he had went to the Utah Jazz or something. Now, another team that could benefit from John Wall's services would be the Celtics. Now, I believe they just got Dennis Schroeder, I don't know how to say his name, but Schroeder missed out on a huge contract. He ended up signing to the Celtics for peanuts, well, not peanuts, millions. But in his brain, he's like, yo, these are peanuts. But the Celtics with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum would be a great fit for John Wall. And to be honest, I would just slide Schroeder to the bench. He was a sixth man already. He should get over it. But I believe John Wall and Schroeder would make great teammates. Great pair. And he's locked up for the next couple of years, so you can even bring him off the bench if you wanted to. But, it would probably hamper their salary if they did that. A third team that could get John Wall is the Brooklyn Nets. This is probably the most controversial one. A lot of trash teams could get John Wall as well, but I doubt John Wall wants to go to a trash team. He wants to go to a team that can compete, that will be competitive, that he might have a chance to do some great things in the playoffs or maybe even win a championship. So he's had a lot of years. He's got a lot of money. I think that's where he's going for his years. If he doesn't have a buyout, which the amount of money he has in the amount of years, I don't know if he will. Maybe if there's no trade options, then he'll decide to take less money to actually play and compete for something. But the Brooklyn Nets are my ideal candidate for where John Wall will land, because there's rumors that Kyrie Irving, he's acting real woke, and he decided, hey, well, there's rumors from his people that he's thinking, hey, if I don't, really like this situation, I might retire. If, if he's upset, he might not play for a game. If they trade him, he might retire. So, a lot of teams are worried for trading for Kyrie, but the Brooklyn Nets, I'm getting the sense from them, from every passing day, every rumor that comes out, they're tired of Kyrie. They want, they have James Harden. They traded for James Harden. They feel with James Harden, Kevin Durant, it'll be enough. Although it wasn't enough when they were at OKC, even though the fact they were young, you give them a pass on that, but they might be missing. They might need Kyrie, in my opinion. But the Brooklyn Nets, they're not shopping Kyrie, but they're definitely listening to offers. Now, if Houston was able to give them, some type of piece to help with the Brooklyn Nets, along with John Wall, it might go better because John Wall, although he can't shoot, he can play make. James Harden can play make also, but John Wall will be able to do his thing, and it wouldn't affect the team that much because of how great of shooters James Harden and Kevin Durant are. They have other pieces as well. Joe Harris can shoot like crazy. So John Wall, he has limited options, but those are the three: Clippers, Celtics, and Brooklyn. I think, in my opinion, that he would have the best fit and still have an opportunity to compete. Now, if you're talking about teams where he wouldn't compete, he just get to keep his money and all that, and then there's a lot of trash teams in the NBA. Kings and all that, there's a couple. Even the Knicks, there's a lot of trash teams. Cavaliers, one of them might trade for him. Maybe a Kevin Love or John Wall trade or something like that. But I don't see ideal destination for John Wall. Let me know in the comments if you guys see any ideal destinations for John Wall.
Yo, ID.